Amid standoff with Moscow, Ukraine's president has signed a law allowing reservists to be called up for military service without announcing mobilization. The measure makes it possible to significantly boost the armed forces. It also equips the military units of all defense forces with reservists, thereby significantly increasing their combat effectiveness during military aggression. The Russian military is holding massive Black Sea maneuvers involving more than 20 warships and dozens of aircraft. Ukraine last week protested the Russian move to close broad areas of the Black Sea to foreign Navy ships until November. In response to Russia's insistence that it has the right to restrict foreign naval ships' movement off Crimea, the Biden administration has repeated its concerns.
We are aware that Russia has announced its intention to block foreign naval ships and state vessels in parts of the Black Sea, particularly near the Kerch Strait, through later this year, through October, citing what they claim to be Russian military exercises. We are cognizant that Russia has a history of aggressive actions against Ukrainian vessels and impeding access to Ukraine's ports in the Sea of Azov, impacting Ukraine's international commerce. This would be only the latest example of an ongoing campaign to undermine and to destabilize Ukraine.
Ukraine's State Security Service has meanwhile detained around 60 people. These people were sent by pro-Russian political forces to stage protests in the eastern city of Kharkiv as a way to justify possible acts of Russian aggression against Ukraine. Ukraine says the actions were armed at destabilizing the situation in the region and creating a picture beneficial to the Russian leadership to justify possible acts of aggression. Ukraine, its Western allies, and the NATO have accused Russia of provocative buildup of troops on Ukraine's eastern border and in Crimea, while Russia has accused the United States and NATO of provocative activity in the Black Sea region. Zelenskiy earlier challenged his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin to meet him in the Donbas region for talks to end the conflict and ease the tension. WION correspondent Daria Bondarchuk is joining us live from Moscow. Hello, Daria. Ukraine has signed a law calling up military reservists. Will this further escalate matters?
Well, this is a sign that Ukraine is readying for a response in case of a potential act of aggression on Russia's side. There is high concerns, very severe concerns in Ukraine and Europe and among NATO representatives that this escalation and amassing of more than 100,000 troops along the Ukrainian border could possibly be a sign of Russia's intent to make some sort of invasion occurrence into the Ukrainian territory. However, this is yet again a sign of getting ready for potential response. This does not mean that Ukraine will immediately draft all these reservists, but it is creating a possibility to do that quickly, to be able to respond to any sort of further tensions or escalation or spike in violence if that indeed happens. However, we've seen statements from both sides, Ukraine and Russia, that neither of the side want an escalation. Neither of the sides is interested in staging a full-blown war. Russia has been undertaking these drills, saying they're not aimed against anyone, and also brushing off criticism and concerns by Europe and Ukraine and NATO, saying that it's free to move its troops on its territory as it wishes to, and will do it upon its decision. Russia has indeed started major, large-scale drills, both for infantry and the Navy in the area, and has sent aircrafts and troops to the southern military district. It is a quite large area covering, of course, Russian southern border and its borders with Ukraine and the Crimean Peninsula. We know that Russia has also recently announced a pause in halt in flights over some areas near the Crimean Peninsula to the southern coast of it, and also has closed waters in the Black Sea for foreign military and official ships from mid-April to the end of October in an attempt to thwart possible risks and threats to its military.
Yeah, Russian military is holding massive Black Sea maneuver, obviously. And after Putin's warning to the West in his address yesterday, how much of buildup can one expect on Ukrainian borders?
Well, at this point, it is difficult to imagine any further military buildup, but we do know that today Russian Defense Ministry has announced an extraordinary checks for preparedness for troops on the Crimean Peninsula, not only just infantry, but also Navy and air defense troops. So there is checkups for preparedness in Russian military underway, but we have seen some estimates and announcements, statements from European and NATO officials that, of course, this has is raising serious concerns. But however, a top U.S. official with the Europeans NATO General Staff and Command said that he expects that this build-up will. He estimated the risk of Russian invasion into Ukraine from low to medium, but said that he expected the buildup to wane down over the next couple of weeks.
Yes, Daria, so just final question. How real are the prospects of armed conflict in the region?
Well, again, the experts here in Russia and from Ukraine are very cautious about this build-up, but again, neither of the sides so far is interested in a direct military conflict. We've seen heard statements from the Ukrainian officials yesterday. The Ukrainian president has offered Russian President Vladimir Putin to meet in any location in the Ukrainian region of Donbass to discuss the tensions, as well as the Kiev envoy to the Donbass settlement effort. Former Ukrainian President Kravchuk also said that he is ready to talk to Russia's President Vladimir Putin, and he has things to say to him. So we've seen there's suggestions of a dialogue to engage in direct talks between Moscow and Kiev, and certainly this could be a positive sign, as in downscaling the tensions.
Thank you, Daria Bandarchuk, our correspondent from Moscow.